Right, hi guys, I'm the Grey Gardener. If you're new here, this is a gardening and allotment channel, and today I'm going to be talking about a landmark that I've reached, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about YouTube. So it is a little bit different to the normal content that I do put out there, but I do get quite a lot of comments and some emails about YouTube and kind of what it entails a little bit. And so I'm just going to basically tell you a little bit how I got started in it, and a little bit further on in the video, because I do earn a little bit of money from it. I see it as an extension of the business, and I'm going to let you in just roughly kind of, my average earnings per month, so keep watching. So the landmark, and I've had my eye on it for a couple of months, and I'm absolutely over the moon. I've reached 1 million channel views, and obviously that's thanks to you guys. You've done that, so that's a massive thank you. Obviously some people get that in one video. That would be, unbelievable. My best video is my pumpkin video, growing pumpkins from start to finish. That just reached 100,000 views, which is crazy. When was that? That was probably about 6-7 weeks ago. Yeah, that's crazy. So yes, YouTube. So I first started it during lockdown, because I'm if you watch this channel regularly, you'll know that I've got Crohn's disease. The medication I was on made my immune system weaker. So I was classed as a clinically vulnerable person during lockdown. So I was off work. This was before I started the garden business. But just kind of, I think it must have been just before lockdown, I got offered an allotment, which was like behind my house. So absolutely perfect timing. I was in there like every day. It needed so much doing to it. I was in there every day just sorting it out, and I got my chickens and all that, and yeah, it was brilliant. Obviously horrible time for lots of people. Personally speaking, I wasn't affected adversely really, and I'm not going to lie, it was a really nice time. So as I was doing it, obviously I've got an interest in gardening in general, growing veg, and I was watching all these brilliant YouTube channels, and I thought, I'm missing a bit of a trick here. Maybe I should start a channel, partly because, there was nothing else to do. I was off work, had loads of time on my hands. I thought it's just something new and interesting. I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. I could be making half decent videos. I was doing what I was watching, so I may as well give it a go. So yeah, so got up and running. My first video was how to dismantle and move a greenhouse. The actual filming of it, the technicalities of filming it was absolutely dreadful. Like, I didn't even have like widescreen shots. It was like just I was holding the phone like vertically, and like if you're using the phone, you got to use it that way so you get the image on the full image on the screen. And it was a dreadful video, but it's all right. It's not too bad really views wise, because there's not many videos of dismantling greenhouses out there, so I'm one of a few, so it does still get some half decent views. But anyway, yeah, so I fell in love with the editing process. I absolutely love it. I still do. Don't particularly enjoy filming. These ones are all right when I'm speaking to the camera, but when I'm filming like me working, it's hard enough doing a garden when that's all you're doing, but when you're trying to film it and get different angles, it's all right just if you set your phone up and just do a time-lapse type video, and you can just capture the whole garden, and it's time-lapse, that's easy enough. But when you're doing other things like trying to talk or getting it's the different angles and different views to make it interesting for the viewer, that's when it becomes quite boring really, and sometimes challenging. But anyway, so yeah, the early videos, I did another video about how to keep chickens, and that did particularly well as well. So my first few videos did reasonably well, and that gave us a tiny little platform just to kind of grow slowly, very slowly from there. And there's two channels that I absolutely hammered. There was vidIQ and what's the other one? Channel Makers. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, watch those two channels there, because they tell you all the tips and tricks on how to grow a YouTube channel from scratch. They talk about search engine optimization, about the YouTube algorithm, good thumbnails, good titles, everything. Brilliant channels. And I just hammered them. and I like to think that gives us a bit of a platform to grow and do my own channel. Now, the amount of hours I put in the beginning was unbelievable. So when I did eventually get back to work, and I changed jobs off the back of that. So before lockdown, I was doing courier work. After lockdown, that's when I started the gardening business. So I was doing YouTube like on a night from sort of like maybe 9 o'clock onwards till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just hammering it, videos all the time, couple of videos a week, minimum. And I had the kind of idea in the beginning that I will do it for 1 year, see what happens after a year, because I saw this as soon as I started the gardening business. I saw YouTube as a natural extension to the business in terms of seeing if I could generate an income. So I didn't start out doing it for the money, but when I started the gardening business, I thought, yeah, this is, I always like to have a few strings to my bow, and I'm just naturally that way kind of inclined anyway. In the past I've tried loads of things and failed. Some's been half successful. I used to sell on eBay, do a bit reselling like alongside my other job, and I've always had loads of ideas. So I thought, right, YouTube can potentially be a good earner. Do you know what I mean? And I said in the beginning, I'll do it for 1 year. If I don't get anywhere after a year, I'll stop, because it took up so much of my time. And if I wasn't getting anything back, other than, it's what I didn't realise, and what I kind of love now, is you get all the regular commenters. And it's a cliche and I don't really like using the term, but it is a little community, and I've learned so much from the comments. So that side of it I didn't really anticipate, but I love. And yeah, so I thought, hammer it for a year, see what happens. And then a couple of videos took off, and there was steady growth. There wasn't, it didn't take off, it was just steady. And I thought, yeah, if I keep going with this, I could make something of it. And as I say, now it's an extension to the business, and I treat it like a little business in itself, really. So the research out there will tell you that most channels fail. I think it's a ridiculously high percentage who don't end up being monetized. So to be monetized, you have to have this was at the time, this was a few years ago. I don't know whether it's changed or not. I think it's the same. It's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Now, when you're starting to get 4,000 watch hours, it's it's a crazy amount of hours. To put that into perspective, I'm getting about 2,500 watch hours per month now, with however many videos I've got. Probably got about, I don't know, 250 videos. So 2,500 in a month with all those videos. So you imagine when you're starting to get that, it's very, very difficult. It's such a slog, and a lot of people get disheartened and they don't see any growth in the views, the subscribers, that kind of thing, and they just get disheartened and pack it in. Some people obviously purely do it for a hobby. That's kind of, I started out just to kind of do something different when I had loads of time on my hands. But there's very few channels actually reach that monetization. So when and if you get there, that's an achievement in itself. And I think my first monthly payment off the top of my head was about 20 quid. But believe me, that is probably my most enjoyable £20 I've ever earned. Like, to earn money doing stuff like this, when you're not kind of offering a service, giving a service like a grass cut, you do the grass cut, you get paid. This is like, it's kind of your imagination, isn't it? Your own channel, like, you're in charge of it solely, the thumbnails, the content, everything. And when you get paid for that, that's like a feeling like no other. It's unbelievable. And yeah, it was about 20 quid the first one, and slowly kind of rising. And it's semi-seasonal, so it dips obviously December. I want to get some Christmas videos out this December just to kind of keep the viewing figures up. I've got a few ideas. January kind of is flat as well, and then end of February, kicking into March, that's when it kind of takes off again. I've got a lot of allotment videos. that are very kind of seasonal at the start in the spring, early summer. And obviously the gardening business stuff is kind of evergreen content a little bit that does get watched kind of all year round, some more than others. So I did promise you to tell you how much I get kind of on average per month. I also said at the beginning, or near the beginning, when I kind of got monetized, I said, right, if I can earn enough to pay me mortgage solely from YouTube, you know, that was my target. I'm not there yet, but I suspect in a year or two I might be, if it keeps kind of growing how it's growing. And also if that's another thing. So one video a week is my absolute minimum, and YouTube looks at your channel favorably if you regularly like putting up content. And I'm just starting to reach that point where I have to think a little bit harder on kind of ideas for videos. It does become a little bit tricky. I'm lucky that I've got the allotment aspect as well, so I've got all allotment stuff and all gardening business stuff, so I do have quite a few ideas jotted down, but you know, I do have to think that a little bit harder, so I suspect in a couple of years time it might be even harder. I may branch out in other areas as well. Cider making is, I made cider once, well, about 7 or 8 years ago now, and that's a little thing in itself, and it's something I'm really interested in. So when I have time, because we're moving house soon, so when we get sorted in the new house, and I get a bit more space and stuff and a big garage, then I might branch out and do a bit of that. So it's quite obviously you can do different things with it, which is what I like. But what do I earn on average a month? So the most I've earned, I think, was in May this year, so this is 2023. If you're watching in the future, that was 320 quid, and to me that's a hell of a lot. Like, obviously some channels earn crazy amounts and multi millionaires from YouTube, but this is a really small channel, you know, in comparison to what's out there on YouTube. And to earn 320 quid in a month, now this is not bragging, this is just letting you guys know, if you wanted to start a channel, this is what you can put in with a little bit of hard work. Do you know what I mean? I've just worked hard. This content that I do isn't particularly special. There are other gardening channels out there and allotment channels that are better than mine. I'm just kind of documenting what I do, and you know, people kind of praises for my honesty and stuff. So I think that might be, I mean, there's other channels, they're just as honest as I am, you know, but to earn that sort of money is crazy, really. And if I could do that regularly, my target's about sort of 400 or 500 a month, which I think I might reach in a couple of years' time. You know, I'll be absolutely over the moon with that. It's crazy, really. The average, I'm on about 200. Second highest was about 260, I think it was. This is now, so like last year it was 150, that was maybe the average. I'm up about 50 quid. So hopefully again next year, when you, so that's the thing, all the videos that are on here, they're already on here. They will continue to get views, hopefully, and they'll continue earning money, so you kind of bank them, so they're already there. And then you're just putting up like new content. You keep doing that new content, the views should rise, and you know, all the numbers rise with it. So drop us a message if you're genuinely interested in starting a channel. Drop us a message. You know, if you have any questions. I use an editor called Power Director. I pay 50 quid a year for that. That's really good, simple to use. For my thumbnails I use GIMP, which is like a free Photoshop. That's got everything on you need. So yeah, just film on my phone here. I've got a couple of tripods. I've got a little handheld one that's on here now on the dashboard, and I've got a big tripod thing. And usually, well, from outside I try and wear a little mic. I think that was about 70 quid second hand off eBay. So you don't have to invest much in it, you just have to invest time, and that's the hardest thing. I started doing it before we had the little one. I dare say the progress would have been 3 times as slow if I'd tried to do it when we had the little one. because you just need to invest and hammer it. You need to hammer it if you're serious about it, that is. Right, my mouth's dry. This is a 15-minute video I've just seen. If you've got this far, massive thank you. Please subscribe as well if you haven't already. Say hello. Drop us a message if you want to know anything more about YouTube or gardening, whatever. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. All right, cheers, bye.